Up for 3 days on meth and heavy benzo withdrawal, poppin DPH. Yo, what's up? It's someone that's no one, and welcome back to today's report. Today's report is coming from Beta, where he took meth and DPH while in heavy benzo withdrawal. And here's the full report details. Alright guys, welcome to quite the report. As you can tell by the ridiculous title. This is quite the tweet out experience coming from the longtime subscriber, Beta. Which, go check out his previous reports we covered, and you'll get a quick idea how far he would take things. So I guess you could say this is kind of fitting, which on top of things of course, he was sleep deprived. And what ensues is just a very ridiculous jumble of actions and hallucinations. I'll just let this speak for itself. I'm sure you'll enjoy this, so without further ado, let's dive right into this. I'm currently working on a big encompassing tale on my DXM, then meth, then benzo-induced psychosis. This is a tale from that time for the meantime. At the time, I had been in psychosis from DXM for a year, and using benzo for about 6 months. Also in withdrawal from benzos because my tolerance was so high I couldn't afford my habit. Towards the end, I wasn't even getting high, just managing withdrawal. So I had accidentally been up for 3 days on some Midwest meth. At some point, I took some Benadryl. Don't know how much. I had the weirdest delusion. I thought my neighbors were psychic or something, and knew when I was high, so they tortured me psychically. I'll go into it more in the full story, but they were constantly reacting to every thought I had. Made me neurotic. I thought they were in my house. Not really, but I hallucinated it. First was in my room/garage. I don't know if my neighbors had kids, but one hallucination, 4 8-year-old kids were in my room. And apparently, they were my neighbor's kids. They wouldn't leave, no matter how irate I got. My poor mother in the living room had to live with me like that. I hate it, but she's in a better place now, so I gotta move on. What's done is done. I'm better these days. Don't worry now. Your boy's back. So I couldn't get the kids to leave. I flipped a couch over. I even went next door and knocked on their fucking door and was mad. Told them to get their kids out of my room. They had no idea what I was talking about. Didn't get irate with them, but it was sketch as fuck. I was so delirious from the benzo withdrawal, Benadryl, and being up for 3 days. I can't remember the whole interaction. 5-minute affair. Went back to my room. Surprisingly, they didn't call the cops on me like they had so many times in the past. They almost had me busted for meth, but I got away. The cops busted down my door, but that's a different story. Anyways, so at some point, the kids left, but my room was a mess and my couch was upside down. In my irate struggle, my delusion changed. I ended up killing one of the kids when I flipped the couch. I saw a bunk bed in my room. Didn't have one really, with the neighbors on the other side who also psychically tormented me. They were in the bunk bed just staring at me. The mother was happy that the dad looked like he wanted to kill me. It was their kid I killed. I was so scared I grabbed a knife. I could just tell they were waiting to kill me, to get revenge. I went into my garage attic. It had a wooden floor. The space where the piece of wood was put together, I saw my neighbors staring, like knives in me, through the floor. I could feel hot stabbing pain in my feet. To this day, I know there's nothing that could have caused that pain. I was for the first time experiencing tactile hallucinations. They terrify me. At some point, the Benadryl wore off because the delusions ended. I went to the hardware store and bought a hammer, nails, and hundreds of dollars of wood boards. I went around nailing up boards around the windows in my bedroom. I went to the other bedroom in the house. Now, this is weird. My psychonaut friend did plateau sigmas with DXM. He said everyone died on Earth and arms were reaching out for him from the walls. Well, after I boarded up the windows in my room, arms came for me through the boarded up window. I was so scared, I went to the bathroom and landed on the floor curled up in a ball and cried. I was so scared, I called my landlord and said my neighbors were reaching in the house through the windows. He actually talked to them about it, but I told him it was sleep paralysis, and I think he bought it. This is one of the craziest things I can remember. Other than this happening again, I had a blanket hung up from the roof. I woke up in this state again, and I guess it was a phase. It was inhabited by a spirit of an old friend that I had a gay sexual experience with during a manic episode. He lost an arm in a motorcycle crash. He doesn't ride though, and his spirit was talking to me. Apparently, I went to my poor mother delirious, talking nonsense about it, and was carrying around a hatchet. Said I was gonna chop off an arm in solidarity. Knowing my crazy ass might have fucking done it, she called an ambulance and they talked to me. I was able to pass their test and avoided the psych ward somehow. Fuck me, right? Went on talking to the blanket about God knows what. And yeah, that's the time I was up for 3 days on meth while withdrawing from benzos and taking Benadryl. More stories to come. Beta out.